topic would be Smart Connectivity Master Plan for Resilient Smart Cities in Malaysia. So we will have the moderator, Mr. Shajahan Muhammad Iqbal from Malaysia Smart City Alliance and ex-Vice President of FTTH Council Asia Pacific as well. Please welcome. And the panelists would be Puan Nur Aishah Binti Mohamed Norodin, Undersecretary of Local Government, Penang State Secretariat Office, and another panelist would be Muhammad Hafizam bin Mustaffa, Assistant State Secretary, Melaka State Economic Planning Unit, Smart and Green, Chief Minister Department. Please welcome. And the third panelist would be Badli Shah Muhammad Salleh, Director of Project Delivery, Smart Selangor Delivery Unit. So I hope you would be enjoying this session. So it's on with Shah. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Semua kawan-kawan yang ada sini, teknologi, operators, tier 1, tier 2, vendors, contractors, semua datuk-datuk sini, Tan Sri siapa ada sini. Terima kasih berada bersama dengan tim FTTH Council. I myself have been for 10 to 12 years with Council, and today we are here with 3 states. Alhamdulillah, we have Cik Hafizam from Melaka, we have Cik Badli from Selangor, and Puan Aishah daripada Penang, orang utara sini. So myself, I'm actually here as part of the Malaysian Smart City Alliance, MSCA. You see they're supported by MSCA. You will see this brochure outside here. I can buat marketing sikit lah. So the Malaysian Smart City Alliance is co-managed together with Might. Might is here, the whole team here, Anusha, Fatin, Arif, Dr. Arif. There are a lot of scientists here. So Smart City Alliance is the one that puts together stakeholders under Might, under government. So we want to facilitate, I think a lot of the plans under Melaka was done by Might. Penang doing on his own, and then Selangor ada some interaction. So the alliance basically is to create a base of information sharing, and we have a partnership with FTTH Council to share information about industry, about projects that we want to do in smart cities. Fiber is one of the underlying layer 0, layer 1 punya required infrastructure, together with the wireless 5G, whatever it is. And you saw VRV just now, they presented what are the tools to measure the quality of service of the contract work that has been deployed. So these are the tools that VRV provides to give this assurance of quality. So basically to share with you who is with me today basically is TS Muhammad Hafizam. He is the Assistant State Secretary, Melaka State Economic Planning Unit. So one of the things about Malaysia is that we have the state level, as they mentioned by Bhavani just now, we have the federal and we have the state level. So here we have 2 state representatives, Hafizam and Puan Aishah from Penang. So Puan Aishah is also part of the government. She's very well qualified in this area. I don't want to belay too much of her technical competency. You can interact directly with her. But more for time, and then Cik Badli is part of Selangor innovated a new model, not under state but under MBI. Cik Badli? Cik Badli is the project director for SSDU, Smart Selangor Delivery Unit. So a bit different. They have this separate SBC, state-backed companies, which run projects for smart cities, green and all that. So without further the deliberation, I would like to basically pose the questions that we had shared with them. And I would like this to be an interactive section. Please engage at any time you want to engage and interrupt. It's okay with us because we got 45 minutes. We're a bit delayed. I hope you boleh tahan. Tak makan sejak ni. So the first question basically is the topic basically is how do we look at smart connectivity master plan? Only if you have a plan, you can execute, especially at state level. You don't have a plan, susah nak work in the government bureaucracy. So every one of them have got a plan. There's a connect between the plan and what they do. And how do you fund those things? Because before this government tak pernah buat smart cities. And Exco dia faham tak benda ni? Ataupun MB faham tak benda ni apa smart city ni? And then what are the problem? and how do you overcome these challenges? So it's a sharing of experiences. I will begin with the first come ladies lah. So Puan Aishah, teruskan.
So they practice here, ladies first. Okay, fine. Right. Thank you, Mr. Shah, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good afternoon to all. So basically, Penang, as you know, we have launched our Penang 2030, a family-focused, green and smart state that inspires the nation, right? And of course, it has become the fundamental for Penang state administration philosophy since then. So it is a major step in transforming the landscape of Penang into a modern and smart state, providing higher income and better quality of life. And this means that cities like Penang, we need to be smart if we are to be able to handle a lot of challenges arise from the urban population presents. All right. We actually embraced the concept of smart city since 2017, 2 years after Selangor. Yeah, 2 years after Selangor. Selangor, they started in 2015. So basically, we learned a lot from Selangor. Actually, at that time, there's only 2 Pakatan Harapan state at that time, Penang and Selangor. So we are like a brother and sister state. So Penang is actually a sister state lah to Selangor. Yeah, they are our big brother. But then, of course, Penang thought we going to take a, different kind of approach after the learning session. So we have come up with our Penang Smart City Roadmap, launched in 2021, whereby there are 5 areas that we prioritize. That is smart economy, smart governance, smart environment, mobility, and community. And of course, we also highlighted on the needs on the infrastructure, data, governance, and people. And then in 2019, we come out, we drafted actually the Penang Smart City Roadmap since 2019, and together with it, we also drafted Penang Connectivity Master Plan. I think that's what Cik Shah wanted me to highlight. So under this Penang Connectivity Master Plan, we have 3 KRA, which is the governance, the infrastructure, as well as the public advocacy. Okay, there are 3 KRA, and then we have 6 KPI, which are the first KPI is that to ensure 100% of readiness, gigabit speed in major cities in Penang, right? And then 50% in 500 Mbps speed in other areas, 100% fiber in the schools, hospitals, library, and so on. And then, of course, we are targeting on the download speed, 50 Mbps in populated area by 2025. All right, and of course, we also one of the KPI is to reduce the drop call rate, by 3%. And by creating this green connector along like Penang Bridge. I think if any of you that using the Penang Bridge, you will find there's a drop call, along especially at the center of the bridge. Of course, the Jelutong Expressway and the highways, the north south highway in between Penang and Kedah. Okay, and lastly is to reduce the complaints by the users by 90%. The complaints mostly is on the EMF, electromagnetic field, whereby I think we need a lot of support from the industry, because Cik Shah says that I'm a technical person. I'm not. I'm not. Basically, I'm a finance grad student, and then I did my master's in sustainable cities and communities. That's why I'm assigned with this smart city thing. But of course, in all aspects, I believe that smart city is actually a tool that we can use to have this sustainable world, right? And of course, Penang, as we targeted on 2030, is actually part of is actually the whole thing about SDG, to gain the 70 goals of SDG. Okay, how important is, how successful is this Penang Connectivity Plan in Penang? So basically, we actually has improved a lot. I quoted 2018 data, right, Q4, from the mobile download speed from 18 Mbps. Now we have reached to 63 Mbps, Q3 2022. As Pamwani mentioned early in the morning, we haven't got the Q4 yet. And for the fixed broadband percentage rate, we have reached 106.2% compared to 11.8% in 2018, right? So I guess 540,000 of our household actually has been fiberized, from about 400,000 in 2018. Okay, and of course when we talk about 5G, 46% coverage has already been there in Penang. So we have like this year we're going to reach about 100% after we be able to complete 474 sites, 5G sites in Penang. Okay, and of course on the mobile broadband penetration rate, we already achieved 160%, and I guess we make a tremendous improvement after our master plan launched in 2019. But the Infraco will ask how we do it, right? Okay, to enable the 100% internet coverage, especially the readiness of the internet, we have a lot of options that we given to the Infraco, like time, Maxis, and so on. So we allow them, to use Penang as playground to test whatever technology that they find suit best for Penang. Like we have this FTTL concept, okay, for Penang nights. For us, we come with this not FTTL, the normal things. It's fiber to the longkang. It's actually fiber to the longkang. It's actually is a clip-on solution. By time, they proposed to us. It took about 3 months to complete things. Okay, I say because we wanted that to be ready as fast as they can. So we allowed them for proof of concept for 6 months, and they be able to complete about 19,000 home pass with 1 gig speed. And then we also have this fiber to the langit, okay, that is by ELO. So we allowed them about 20,000 proof of concept sites, and now they already completed about 7,000 home pass in Penang. This one we targeted in the suburban area of Penang, like Pematang Pau, Balik Pulau, and so on. Right? And of course, TM has done a tremendous job to fiberize to, from copper to fiber, about 464,000 home pass. So, as we see it, everything goes well with this Penang Continuous Master Plan. And I believe the 4-piece partnership between the private, the public, and of course the rest of the Penang Nights has made this happen, except on the awareness, the internet awareness on the MF and so on, that we need more discussions with the MCMC and of course the telcos to support the Penang government on this. Right? Okay, Shah.
Okay, thank you, Aishah. One of the things that I quickly want to summarize is that the challenges in Penang is there are a lot of places like Melaka, heritage sites. So the digging and all that, Puan Aishah, are serious issues. And the point that I think she didn't mention about the leadership, Penang leadership is very supportive, Puan. So that is a very important point in any state, Puan, where they are looking at this. Can you comment on that one point, how important it is?
Political will is very important because without political will, we cannot speed up. Certain things like, as you know, the way lift and so on. So we have strengthened our governance part, whereby we have this few committees, the Jawatankuasa Pemandu, the Jawatankuasa Technical, actually chaired by me, and then we have focus group discussion on the advocacy, public advocacy, infrastructure, as well as on the governance part. Yeah, that's how Penang do it. Yeah.
So very important, just to share between these three states here now, they're looking at each other, how to help each other on what they have learned, lessons learned, how to improve faster. So that is where, like for me, I facilitate between these three states and any state basically together with MIT and MSCA. How do we move our Malaysian bureaucracy? Too much of bureaucracy, same points repeated again, and problems. Puan Aishah, thank you very much for your comments. I would like now to invite Cik Badli, Project Director SSDU. Please, you are a special purpose vehicle to deliver for people of Selangor, inshallah. Thank you.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Cik Shah. As mentioned, Selangor did a little bit different approach. So in this context, I will do a little bit different approach from Puan Aishah, since she already touches their master plan, but I'm going to touch a bit about Smart Selangor Action Plan 2025, which we have 4 pillars, comprises of government, smart community, smart economy, and the last one is smart digital infrastructure. So this smart digital infrastructure is the underlying for the fundamental in order to connect between human to human and human to businesses and also to the agencies. But I'm not going to talk much about Smart Selangor Action Plan. What I would like to share with the audience today is how we do works, so that because we would like to have more participation from the industry players. So allow me to share about SSDU experience. When we want to initiate an initiative, we call as initiative, basically we will have a preparation to conduct a focus group discussion. So this focus group discussion, we will define who will be the stakeholders to be invited, and then normally we categorize them based on four or three categories, which is the citizen, the agencies, the state, and also the industry players. So when we want to conduct focus group discussion, or we call as FGD, we will use agile methodology. So this agile methodology, the first step that we took is we start with the problem statement. We need to understand what is the problem statement, especially from the citizen point of view and also from the agency point of view, so that we can come up with the proper solution that will benefited to all, regardless it is a citizen Selangor, agencies, industry player, and also the government as well. So when we start with problem statement, then we proceed with design sprint. This to understand the user journey. When we talk about the user journey, we have to look from at least 2 angles. The first one is the citizen, because what we do for Smart Selangor, what we do for Smart Initiative is towards the citizen, the benefit to the citizen. So we need to understand what is the problem on the ground. So once we have this kind of problem statement correct, and then we also get the agency, because at the agency as the executor, they also have a problem. So once we understand these 2 angles, the citizen and the agency, then we can basically we know how to close the gap between the disconnect between the conflict of execution, funding, and also the expectation. As a result, from the focus group discussion, we will produce a focus group discussion report as an outcome. So once we have the outcome, or it can be conducted parallel. We also conducted, and recently we already published about our expression of interest. We are welcome all industry players to participate, and in fact these EOI are still ongoing. The closing day is on the 17th of February this month. You are welcome to join, to participate, because we appreciate all the ideas from the industry players, because we want to know what are the solutions available in the market so that we can fit or we can resolve the problem statement correctly. Then by completing the focus group discussion and also expression of interest, so we can cover the citizen, the agency, even the Exco and the solution provider. We can cover in terms of to close the gap, the disconnect between expectation, funding, and also the execution. So I think that is my answer. Quite short compared to Puan Aishah. Thank you.
Okay, SSDU dah berapa lama beranak?
Okay, the first initiation is back in not second quarter 3 2015, but the formalization happened in May 2016, and I'm among the pioneer team.
Okay, alright. So, thank you, Cik Badli. So, please look at the SSDU website. You will see they've got about 10 projects that they are looking at, Cik Badli. They are open for you to send an email or address them expression of interest. You're interested in a project on secured biometric, EID, smart imaging. They are all available on the internet. And very important is that what Cik Badli mentioned basically is that it is the connection to the citizens. Cik Badli, kalau tak benefit rakyat, dia akan kena campak nanti kan. Nanti election nanti kena campak nanti. So, so I think it's about and just to give you an idea, the difference in the two. I won't mention the parties because they were driven as the other side of the government many years. They innovated and they made actions faster. They had to show that they were better in the way they run things, and that's why I would say Selangor and Penang. Cik Hafizam tak ambil hati Melaka. So pasal terpaksa, bila you nak survive, you have to show you're better, correct or not? And that's how Penang and Selangor started to do things differently in the how they run projects faster and change the government bureaucracy. With that, I would like to invite TS Hafizam from Melaka to share his journey on where is the disconnect and what Melaka plans to do. And very important is that Melaka has got a document called Smart Melaka Blueprint, which was co-authored together with Mohd and MSCA team to do the blueprint. Every government has got their blueprints, and we are here as industry to help Melaka, Penang and Selangor achieve their smart cities. Cik Hafizam, silakan.
Thank you, Mr. Shajahan. Assalamualaikum and good morning. From Melaka State Government or State Melaka, I think there are we have several delegates might not familiar where is Melaka. So Melaka is between Kuala Lumpur and Singapore. So so we are 3 hours driving range from Singapore to Melaka, and then to the south of Kuala Lumpur about around 2 hours driving. So there we are. So we are a historic city. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Please, if you have extra time, extended stays in here in Kuala Lumpur, please pay a visit to Melaka and enjoy the scenery, the culture and the heritage. So a bit promotion of Melaka, okay? Okay, I think so Melaka endeavour in terms of smart ni relatively new, but we actually we are starting off with the green city, Melaka to be the green city state way back in 2010, and then along the way we have Malaysia Industry Government for High Technologies supporting us, assisting us in terms of implementing green projects, green program, and so on and so forth. And then around in 2018, so change of government at that time, we have a so-called, in fact, we embarked on a smart city quite early in 2018. We formed the Smart City Advisory Council at that time, Smart City Advisory Councils. But they do have some downlink, some issues. For example, I would like to share with all of you. At that time, there are no clear governance, no clear direction in terms of, because we don't have a document, we don't have the framework, we don't have the some kind of framework or blueprint where we are going to have in the future, especially for smart city. So that way back in 2018, and then at that time I'm managing I'm the secretary for the Green, so I'm not really involved in smart city. But in end of 2021, so I saw these issues. So we worked with Malaysia Industry Government Group for High Technology, or MIGH, to work on a document so that Melaka have a clear path, we have a clear direction, so we are where we are going to be in the next 15 years. So that's why we developed the Smart Melaka Blueprint 2035. So at that time we get assistance from the MSCA, Malaysia Smart City Alliance, and other stakeholders. And then we also identify several states that already embarked on smart city. We have Penang and Selangor way ahead of us. In fact, next week we are going to have 2 days visit to Selangor to train with them how they develop their smart city. In fact, I think I have a meeting. I had a meeting with Smart Selangor, I think 6 months back. So they told us that they have a company so-called Kusel for fiberization for corridor. In fact, they learn from Melaka because we have a company so-called the Melaka ICT Holdings. So Melaka ICT Holding is the company that assists and facilitate the development of tower infrastructure for telecommunication. So we have our state-owned company that handling the communication tower. So at that time, so I think that's it for now lah. I thought I am the shortest one. Okay.
Thank you, Cik Hafizam. The point that Cik Hafizam mentioned basically is that every state have got their own journey, and I always tell this in the smart city focus group. You have the government service, which is all the UPEN and the state people, Puan Aishah and Cik Hafizam, and then Cik Badli is under a government subsidiary. But they all have to work with government policies and actas. And if you do not have the strong will of the chief minister to drive change in the government service, none of these projects will move. Cik Hafizam, any comment? Please comment.
Yeah, that's true. So we had several change of chief minister, and then I think the current chief minister is the one that really wants to embark on smart city, especially on digital. So he, in fact, in 2021, we formed the Melaka Digital Council. So it's a council that the chaired by the chief minister himself, and then other stakeholders. So to drive the digital implementation in Melaka. So we based on that MELDIC, Melaka Digital Council. So currently we already for smart city we have another council chaired by the state Exco, which that handles the technology and telecommunication, that will lead on the implementation side. So we have at the 10,000 feet the digital council, and then we have the smart Melaka implementation committee to on the more near to the ground to do all the implementation
Thank you. There's a change that they've done. Puan Aishah, can you comment in Penang what's different?
I mean, in terms of?
How they work, how to get from the implement from the master plan. They are doing this SMI, digital council.
Oh,
How
yeah.
do you do it in Penang?
Okay, so basically we are more straightforward. Most of the smart city, I will say, initiatives done by our local councils and other government agencies. So we let them to lead on their own projects. Like Penang, we have now 51 smart cities initiative that already successfully implemented, including Intelligent Operation Centers, Penang Smart Parking, Penang Digital Library. So, I don't know, because if there's too many bureaucracy, I mean, if there's a bureaucracy, then you make everything, delaying things, and you can't be getting things fast. So, like for example, why we be able to deploy this 5G in like a 1 month time. So we come up with this smart pole solution, smart street pole solution. So the number of days for the Infraco to get approvals is like 14 to 30 days, right? So that's why we be able to launch our 5G last year, including in the Penang International Airports. So this kind of thing, you need to reduce time. You need to, if you created too many agencies to look into all of these things, you will create bureaucracy. That's why what we believe in Penang, the Infraco, they just go straight forward to the, authorized agencies like local councils, right? So we have no OSA for telco infrastructure. Yeah, we have no OSA. We make things easier for all of the industry. So I would like to welcome all the industry to Penang. We will support you. We will facilitate you with, whatever that you would like to invest in Penang.
Thank you, Puan Aishah. The second round basically is that if you can comment, this time we go from Cik Hafizam this way. What is your top agenda for this year in terms of smart city? What is your top project you want to do for this year for Melaka?
This year. So this year will be the implementation year. So last year is a planning year. So since last year we already planned several projects, especially on the deployment of 5G. So based on input from MCMC, so we already cover almost 50%, especially at Melaka Tengah, the central Melaka district. And by 2025, we will cover the whole state of Melaka. And then we currently embarking on several project because we really believe that digital is driven by private. We really believe that digital should be driven by private companies. So we know that once we embark on smart city projects, really need a big fund. Really needs capital that for the state, the size of state Melaka economy is not so big. So we have to rely with and partner with private companies. So for this year, since last year, we're already preparing a document for the request for proposal for three pilot project, for three projects to be exactly. First is on the cashless and super apps, and second on the Melaka Idu. For your information, Melaka have around 40 high Institute of Higher Learnings, both private and government. So we need to have some kind of collaboration and partnership with. So we need to have some smart app to support that initiative. And the third, we are embarking on the smart pole. Of course, we are currently deploying the 5G smart pole. So what we really need to capitalize is the content, the services that can be provided once we deployed all the 5G smart pole. So we are currently developing the documents. So we are working closely with Melaka Smart City Malaysia Smart City Alliance and MIC. So hopefully by first quarter this year, we will endorse those documents and we will publish so that the private company can participate to invest.
Thank you, Cik Hafizam. Cik Badli, Selangor macam mana tahun ni? Nak kerja apa ni? Panji?
Okay, thank you. Basically, as mentioned before, we are having our expression of interest and still ongoing. The submission is by 17th of February. So what we are focusing on for this year basically is more on the 10 topics that we mentioned in the expression of interest, and one of the topic is about the flood monitoring. So why we are focusing on this flood monitoring? Because of back in December 2021, Selangor was hit by I would say quite a massive flood, and then there's a lot of losses. So moving forward, we are looking how to improvise in terms of notification, in terms of monitoring, so that we can do some prediction, and then during the flood, how we can do the rescue faster and effectively. And the last one is after the flood, when we need to do all the cleaning part and so on. So that is one of the topic under the expression of interest. The second topic that I think I would like to touch is about the executive information dashboard. Okay. In Selangor, we have developed lots of applications such as Smart Selangor Parking, Selangor Intelligent Transport System, and so on. So having this application or system, basically we are focusing more towards operational. But moving forward, how we can have an executive dashboard so that we know that we can have a view how we can improvise in terms of our policy, our procedure, and then our regulations. This will be needed by our Exco so that they can make a new policy or new procedures to improvise what had been used or being occur right now. I think then once we have this EOI, we also conducted the focus group discussion. Next level, we need to present to, we have a committee which is the Jawatankuasa ICT and also Jawatankuasa Pemandu, so that we will table to the both committee for on the technical. Jawatankuasa technical is more on the technical matters. We're discussing on what about the specification, the requirement, and so on. Then we bring to the Jawatankuasa Pemandu for the direction and for the approval to execute the projects or the initiative. I think I answered your question.
Okay, thank you. Aishah?
What are the projects that we're going to focus this year? Okay. I guess floods happens everywhere. So of course we are going to imitate Selangor in that case. Okay. Okay. Because the smart way to do things is just to imitate the best thing, right? Just like what Singapore have done for the past 50 years. Right, and this year we're going to focus more on the solid waste management. As you know, like in Penang, we have to spend like 50 million to manage the waste. So basically, we're going to revamp all the policies and the method of doing it. I guess that is the focus of this year, because as at now we have more than hundreds of smart initiatives that has been happening towards throughout Penang. 51 already successfully implemented. The rest are ongoing and of course being initiated by all of the agencies. Okay.
Thank you. I think we're coming to the last maybe 10 minutes of the 15 minutes of the discussion. So why don't we skip the last questions a bit, the gaps. If you can see, Penang has different Jawatankuasa, Selangor different model, Melaka different model. And one of the biggest things we do in the smart cities is that our leaders, whether political or government, Cik Hafizam, Puan Aishah, are they conversant with what is smart city? Why is fiber required at layer 0? Why do you need a smart pole? If they don't understand, when they have presentation, Cik Hafizam, Puan Aishah, apa dia buat? Dia kata, Puan Aishah apa cerita ni? They will refer back because they are not. So one of the things we along the smart cities and under MIT and the MSCA is that we need to educate our leaders, our decision makers about what is smart city about, why is fiber important, why is digital data important. One quick question to each panel: what drives smart city in Penang? Example, and then what drives smart city in Selangor? And then what drives smart city in Melaka?
I guess I've mentioned in the first question. Penang has embraced the smart city in 2018. Definitely after the Chief Minister announced Penang 2030 vision, a family focused, green and smart cities. Family focus, green, and smart state. Yeah. So, yeah. So that's where we started on this green smart initiative here.
Okay, Selangor started back in Q3 2015, and then we formed a unit. SSU started as a unit under Menteri Besar Incorporated before we move as a Syarikat Sdn Bhd. So at that point, actually Selangor has already the vision, which is we want to be a premier smart state and livable smart state by 2025. So that drives us towards those initiatives to achieve this vision. And in order to achieve this vision, basically we need a political will, definitely, as a driver, and then we also need to look from the angle of change management. In the context of change management, I would say that it is about our tolerance to change and to adapt to the new things, because to develop a successful smart city or smart state is not an easy task. So I think that's all.
I think we have several factors that driving us to be one of the smart city state by 2035. So obviously we want to achieve our state as a green city state. So we want to reduce our GHG consumption and then by 40% as per GDP, similar with the federal government. And then we have several issues that we need to overcome. For example, in terms of transportation. So we have, obviously we are the tourist state. So we receive, before COVID-19, we received almost 20 million visitors to Melaka. But currently this year we already received more than 5 million permanent visits. And then, so we need to have a smarter way in terms of managing our transport. Maybe we could have a journey planner, a smart journey planner, to manage our tourists. And then also in terms of social, I think digital is the way forward. So and then digital also is a new engine for economic growth. So we need to develop our youth how to create income, to create a wealth through digital. So and that's why we embark on green on smart city. And then also smart city is the enabler. I think smart city is an enabler.
Thank you. So with that closing point from DS Hafizam, fiber is green, and you have learned that during this COVID, connectivity, transportation, people didn't travel during COVID, all had the MCO blockage, but work was being done, as Cik Tajul mentioned, work was being done, and that was enabled by fiber connectivity. So fiber is green. So connecting digitally, you need to have infrastructure, right of way. We've got a Persatuan contractor here, Tuan Zakaria, Cik Datuk Islam. It's a whole ecosystem of whether supply chain, contracting, and then like as Cik Hafizam mentioned about Melaka, about people, students, digital learning, smart cities, environment. So it's a whole ecosystem that needs to work together. It's not in silo. And I think every state who has got a vote box wants to satisfy the citizens. They don't want the citizens to revolt. So I always say the story about smart cities which begin in Barcelona. This month is a Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. The first smart city got thrown out because it was purely technology. It cannot be about technology. It must be about people. How do you connect people? How do you make people's lives better? So with that, I would like to open the floor for questions and some deliberation. You can engage with any of the panel members and ask questions. And please feel free to ask questions. Rusafi, I guess we will conclude this in 10 minutes without any questions. Please feel free.
Yeah, I have a question. I might have missed it, but what is the completion rate of smart cities within each state? And what is the remaining timeline? Question number one. Question number two is while you are doing cabling, fiberization, what was the physical difficulty or obstacles that you experienced, and how did you overcome them?
Can I just quickly recap? Your first question is
The completion rate of smart cities within each state and the remaining timeline.
okay. Just to summarize on behalf of all three of them, the federal government has got a KP, the KPKT is the Ministry under Housing, and the Plan Malaysia, which plans the whole future of Malaysia's development. They've got indicators. They've got indicators down there. 72 indicators. 88 indicators. So to do a ranking, Puan Aishah, of course, your hands up lah. How many?
75%.
75.
Minus the numerator. So we have reached 75% of the smart city indicators for Penang.
It's a benchmark. She's champion.
Yeah, I understand it's going to be different for each state.
No, the indicators are there. So we are benchmarking against the indicators. She has 75% achieved those indicators. Selangor?
We have slightly lower, but because we have about 60 initiatives that been mentioned, we have about 60%, right? But yes, we are progressing more in this coming year. That's all.
Simple answer. No indicator yet. We will embark soon.
Second? Okay. I think, as I mentioned to you, every state has got a blueprint and a master plan in place. So those are in various stages. I guess we don't want to go into the details here, but they are monitoring very tightly because it's a very important KPI. And I think about 2 weeks ago, even our Prime Minister said about smart cities in the wilayah. So that vocabulary is running. But you translate that into the 88 indicators that are 88 indicators. So in various states have various stages of doing it. So I answered both questions. All right?
Yeah, the second question was when you were doing the physical cabling for fiberization, what kind of obstacles or difficulties did you face and how did you overcome them?
Okay, I think we need to go offline on that question because that's going to layer 0, layer 1. We can have a separate discussion on that because at 10,000 feet, these are all at 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 feet at the policy level. That you got to go down to our level and contractors level and telco level. Is that okay with you? All right, thanks. Next question.
Understood. Penang has a different approach, while Selangor has different approach, and Melaka also has a different approach to design and also to implement the smart city. Okay, my question is, since we have 3 states has come out with their own design, the blueprint and the master plan, so can we just standardize or come up with the generic master plan or blueprint so that the other states who haven't started with this smart city initiative can refer or can, as a baseline or as a guidance for them. But of course, they need to educate their leaders on what smart city is all about.
Can I get a background? What kind of stakeholder are you? Are you from which industry?
I'm from Telecom.
Telecom Malaysia. Mashallah. Okay. Okay, I got to do a lot of awareness. Okay. TM1. Okay, GIT. Okay, right. So basically, I think on behalf of Cik Badli, Cik Badli, Puan Aishah dengan Hafizam, the master framework is the 88 indicators under Plan Malaysia, under Cik Farabi and KPKT. The plan is there for the 88 indicators. They've given you the KPI, the numerator and the denominator they've given you. So you drive it from there. What actually you want to do, you can choose who, what, make, what design. From my perspective, where I'm from the MSCA and I'm doing the standards under Jabatan Standards Malaysia, JSM. So there will be standards that will be complying to the KPKT 88 indicators. But in terms of who, what vendor, what technology is open, but we have a standards under MTFSB. I think from MCMC, MTFSB is here. I'm from Jabatan Standards together with the work group. So we set the standards. But the multiple is the 88 numerator and denominator already defined under KPKT Plan Malaysia. I'll let Puan Aishah also comment.
Okay, just in addition to that, actually KPKT they have come out with this Malaysia Smart City Framework in 2019. So we benchmark from the Malaysia Smart City Framework, and then we, of course, the additional out of that is from from Penang itself, because each and every state we are unique, right? We need a different solution for our people, so that's why we cannot be have one generic solution for all.
I would agree with Puan Aishah, because each state have their own. First, each state have their own vision, what they want to be. Second, each state has their uniqueness. For example, like Penang and Melaka, they are more on historical, more on tourism. But in terms of Selangor, we are on industrial. So that's why if we want to have one standard framework or blueprint, it's quite difficult. That's all.
Yeah, those variation due to, for example, the size of Melaka, we have 4 local authorities, but compared to Selangor, they have more 12, and then they are big cities, and then Melaka, relatively small state, and we have small local authorities, so it's easier to consolidate through the state government, and then we will engage with all the state local authorities to be part with us. So different state might have different approach. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. The question is that there is a framework. There's a numerator, denominator, and Jabatan Standards and Plan Malaysia are working on vocabulary, making it standard vocabulary. So you have the semantics and the syntax for every definition. So they are working on it. But I tell you, it's a big challenge because you are combining, converging enterprise, telco, home, citizen. Tak pernah jumpa lagi kat dunia ni. InsyaAllah. Okay, last question please. Tuan Sekarim.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I'm very simple. My question is, why take so long to give a work permit? To say permit to work, because I think we less the bureaucracy. And then some more, I think when we want to achieve the smart city, I think we must set goal. And we must have a very good subject matters, if you agree with me. We don't need political things, okay. But then sometimes we need a very good subject matters in order to get things done. So I think that's my view, my personal view, on behalf of the Satuan Secretariat Malaysia. See, Telekom jawab. Telekom tanya, hey, Telekom soal lain.
Thank you, Dato'.
To me, very simple. Less bureaucrat. Set the time. Bila boleh dapat approval permit. Ini approval take 2 months, 3 months. To me, nanti we will die. We will die standing. You see? And then we are playing goal. We are playing football. we must stick the goalpost. The goalpost cannot be changed. If we keep on changing the goalpost, Corona will get solved. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dato'. Share with you, that's why I will tell you between these three, Dato', the benchmark has happened, and I will tell you, please let's give a round of applause to Puan Aishah. She has changed the process. Please comment, Puan Aishah.
Dato', so what do you think about Penang? Do you have difficulties to get permits from Penang?
I've never been to Penang.
Sorry? Never been to Penang.
Yes, but I'm from Melaka.
All right.
Penang, I love the nasi kandar. But to me, very simple. Let's bureaucrat. Don't take too long, 2 months, even sometimes 6 months. You see? 6 months, even 1 year. Macam mana mau maju?
Dato' tu, Puan Aishah dah buat dah. Puan Aishah, please.
You just listen. This is come from us because it has to be bold and bold enough.
Yeah.
Otherwise, conference sama saja.
Okay, so basically we work a lot with the industries, with all the telcos. When we set up this PCMP, Penang Connectivity Master Plan, we work with all the 9 telcos, NFP, NSP, right? So, Dato', if you want to have this commencement road, we can give you 1 day. Yeah, e-cow. We have e-cow, e-commencement road, which means that if you could be able to get the 4 technical agencies, and then definitely today you submitted, tomorrow you will get the e-commencement of work, right? And
to me, very simple. We go back to school. Kita buka lubang 10 kaki dengan tampal 1 jalan. So, kau buka lubang RM50, tampal 1 jalan RM1,000. So, you see, macam mana? This is on the ground. This is on the ground, brother.
yeah.
Buka 5 kaki, tampal 1 jalan. Buka RM50, tampal RM1,000.
Penang, we understand because it's very costly for you, and technology evolve very fast. That's why you need fast approval for all of this. When we come up with this the guideline, yeah, Dato', we created a lot of guidelines on the smart street code.
I'm very straightforward. It's better for me to speak rather than just quiet.
Yeah.
Because I think this is too long already. Lama dah. Jadi kalau nak buat ketajam perpaduan madani, this is the time. This is the time. So jangan takut because I cakap I'm not worried because I think I'm talking from my heart. Because kalau you nak maju, got to move on. Jangan terus di belakang. And then approval lambat sangat. I think I speak up on my friend.
Yeah, Dato'. Yeah, Dato'. So just to quickly tell you, the point is that they are benchmarking. Hafizam is benchmarking to Penang. Penang is Selangor is benchmarking to Penang on the best practices, and they have done it. 2 days, Puan? Approval kan? 2 days. 1 day. 1 day. So they've changed it. They've changed the process. But because of the leadership wants to change, so they changed it already now. So there is a work in progress now for Selangor, Dato' and Dato'. One under the Smart Selangor Connectivity Master Plan, there is some recommendations to that effect are being, policies being changed. So inshallah you will see the changes in Selangor. And Cik Hafizam, nak komen ke? Saya komen lah. I komen. Tak apa. Dato', kita benchmark to the best practices and let's move on. Inshallah, we doa and we pray that our leaders are conscious about these terrible practices that we have. We have to evolve, change ourselves. Inshallah. With that, I would like to just have one more question if possible, and we close off the session. Any more questions? Otherwise, we close it off. Okay. If there are no other questions. InsyaAllah we close off dengan surah Wal-As. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal-As innal insana lafi khusr. So the doa is basically is that be patient with our leaders, but we have to give them ilmu. Rabbi zidni ilmi. get ilmu, share with the leaders, share with the people, share the problems. Inshallah, we will be successful. And very important, I would like to share a closing point. When I started my journey in fiber optics, I gained my hidayah from Surah An-Nur. Nur ala Nur, no fire. So I started my journey 25, 30 years ago. I'm a professional accountant, consultant, but fiber optics and laser is the Nur upon Nur, light upon light, coherent light. Inshallah, let's illuminate the country, let's illuminate our leaders, and let's inshallah dua for a progressive and successful Malaysia, which is fundamental. We're all good. Let's be better in our way forward, inshallah. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.